There was a time when one song could light up every room. It played everywhere. Clubs, radios, TVs. People danced to it, smiled to it, sang it without thinking twice. That song was Hey Ya. But what if the song you thought was pure happiness wasn't actually happy at all? What if behind the energy, the rhythm, and the unforgettable hook, there was a completely different message hiding in plain sight? A message about love that doesn't last, about relationships that aren't what they seem. So how did a song this fun carry something this real? And why did almost nobody notice? This is the real story behind Hey Ya. There are songs that make you dance, songs that make you feel good, songs that take over parties, radios, and entire generations. And then there are songs like Hey Ya, a song that sounds like pure joy, a song that feels like celebration, a song that makes people smile, move, and sing along without thinking twice. But what if everything you thought you knew about this song was only the surface? What if behind the energy, the rhythm, and the unforgettable hook, there was a completely different story hiding in plain sight? In the early 2000s, music was changing, hip-hop was evolving, R&B was dominating charts, and artists were beginning to experiment more with sound and identity. But even in that era of change, there were still expectations. Artists were expected to stay within their lane, to follow a certain formula, to give the audience what they were already used to. And then came OutKast, a duo that never followed rules. From the very beginning, OutKast had built a reputation for doing things differently. They blended genres, they pushed boundaries, they refused to be boxed into one sound. And at the center of it all was a creative force that would eventually redefine what a hit song could be. That force was André 3000. By the time they began working on what would become Hey Ya, André 3000 was already known for his unique style. But this time, he wanted to go even further. He wanted to create something that didn't just sound different, he wanted something that felt different, something unexpected. When the song first begins, it doesn't sound like a typical hip-hop track. There's no heavy beat drop, no aggressive intro. Instead, you hear a guitar, a rhythm that feels almost retro, almost like it belongs to another era. And then suddenly the energy kicks in, 1, 2, 3, and just like that, you're pulled in. At first, everything about the song feels fun. The tempo, the rhythm, the way André delivers each line with energy and charisma. It feels like a celebration. But if you listen closely, something else begins to reveal itself. The lyrics tell a different story. A story about relationships, about doubt, about emotional disconnect. Lines that question love, lines that challenge the idea of forever, lines that feel uncertain. There's a moment in the song where André asks, "What's cooler than being cool?" And the crowd responds, "Ice cold." It feels like a fun call and response moment, but even that line carries a deeper meaning. It reflects emotional distance, detachment, the idea of being so removed that you become cold. This is where the genius of Hey Ya truly begins to show, because while people are dancing, while they're smiling, while they're enjoying the sound, they're also absorbing a message they might not even realize. And that contrast is what makes the song so powerful. It's energetic, but it's questioning something deeper. It's a party song that quietly talks about the reality of relationships. When Hey Ya was released, it didn't just perform well. It exploded. It dominated charts. It played everywhere. Radio, clubs, television. Channels like MTV kept it on rotation. The music video became iconic. André 3000 performing as multiple band members, a creative concept that made the song even more memorable. But what made the video so effective was not just the visuals, it was the energy, the performance, the way it made people feel. At concerts, something interesting would happen. Whenever Hey Ya played, the crowd would go wild. People would jump, dance, sing every word, and yet many of them weren't fully aware of what they were singing. This created a unique moment in music history, a song that was both deeply introspective and widely misunderstood. What makes the story of Hey Ya even more fascinating is not just what the audience heard, but what was happening behind the scenes while it was being created. At the time, André 3000 was going through a period of creative transformation. He wasn't interested in repeating what had already worked. He wasn't trying to recreate past success. Instead, he was searching for something new, something unpredictable, something that didn't fit neatly into any category. And that decision came with risk, because in the music industry, especially at that time, stepping too far outside expectations could cost an artist everything. Fans might not understand it, labels might not support it, radio might not play it, but André 3000 leaned into that uncertainty. He began experimenting with sounds that weren't traditionally associated with hip-hop. Live instrumentation, unconventional rhythms, melodies that felt more like rock or funk than anything dominating the charts at the time. When he first presented Hey Ya as part of the Speakerbox The Love Below project by OutKast, it didn't immediately sound like a guaranteed hit. In fact, some people within the industry didn't know what to make of it. It was too different, too unexpected, too far from what people thought OutKast should sound like. But that's often the case with groundbreaking music. At first, it confuses people, before it connects with them. There's a well-known moment that captures this perfectly. During early performances, André 3000 would sometimes notice the audience reacting in a way he didn't expect. They weren't always moving, they weren't always dancing. Some of them were just watching, trying to understand what they were hearing. And in response, he did something interesting. He leaned into that moment of hesitation. He turned it into part of the performance, encouraging the crowd, pushing them to engage, almost guiding them into the experience. That interaction became part of what made Hey Ya so unique. It wasn't just a song you listened to, it was a song you had to feel. Another layer to the story is how the song challenged the idea of genre itself. At the time, music was often categorized very strictly. Hip-hop stayed in one lane, pop stayed in another, rock, R&B, funk each had its own space. But Hey Ya didn't belong to just one category. It pulled from multiple influences, and in doing so, it blurred the lines between genres. This made it more accessible, but also more difficult to define. And sometimes, what can't be easily defined becomes even more powerful. As the song gained momentum, something else started to happen. It began to cross audiences. People who didn't normally listen to hip-hop were drawn to it. People who preferred pop connected with it. Even those who weren't deeply into music culture found themselves enjoying it. This kind of crossover success is rare, and it usually happens when a song taps into something universal, something that goes beyond genre, beyond trends, beyond expectations. But there's also a psychological layer to why Hey Ya worked so well, and it comes down to contrast. The human brain is naturally drawn to patterns. We expect certain sounds to match certain emotions. Happy music should sound happy. Sad music should sound sad. But Hey Ya breaks that pattern. It gives you an upbeat sound paired with lyrics that are questioning and uncertain. This creates a kind of tension, a subtle confusion, and that confusion keeps people engaged because the brain is trying to make sense of what it's hearing. That's why people keep replaying it, why they keep coming back to it, because it doesn't resolve itself easily. Another interesting aspect of the song's legacy is how it has been reinterpreted over time. As new generations discover it, they bring their own perspective, their own experiences, their own understanding of relationships and emotions. And because of that, the song continues to evolve, not in sound, but in meaning. There have even been stripped-down versions of Hey Ya, performed by other artists, slower, more emotional, more reflective. And when you hear the song in that form, without the upbeat tempo, without the energetic delivery, the message becomes much clearer, almost heavier. It reveals what was always there, but not always noticed. This ability to exist in multiple emotional spaces is what gives the song its longevity. It can be played at a party, and it can be analyzed in a quiet moment. Very few songs can do both. Looking back, it becomes clear that Hey Ya was more than just a hit. It was a turning point, not just for OutKast, but for music as a whole. It showed that audiences were open to something different, that they didn't always want what was expected, that sometimes the biggest impact comes from breaking the rules. And in many ways, it opened the door for future artists to experiment more freely, to blend genres, to challenge norms, to take creative risks without fear of being misunderstood. As time went on, more listeners began to revisit the song, to listen more closely, to pay attention to the lyrics, and slowly, the conversation began to change. People started to realize that Hey Ya was not just a party anthem. It was a commentary, a reflection on modern relationships, on love that doesn't always last, on the pressure to stay together even when things aren't working. And suddenly, the song felt different. Not in a bad way, but in a deeper way. This is what separates a good song from a timeless one. A good song entertains. A timeless song reveals something new every time you hear it. And that's exactly what Hey Ya became. A song that evolves with you. A song that changes meaning as you grow. Even today, years after its release, the song continues to connect with new audiences. People still dance to it, still enjoy it. But now, more people understand it. And maybe that's the real brilliance of OutKast. They didn't just create music, they created experiences, moments that feel one way on the surface, and something completely different underneath. Because in the end, Hey Ya is not just about rhythm, or energy, or even nostalgia. It's about truth, a kind of truth that hides behind a smile, the kind of truth that you only notice when you slow down and listen. And maybe that's why the song has lasted so long, because it meets people where they are, whether they want to dance, or whether they're ready to understand. So the next time you hear it, the next time that beat drops, the next time the crowd shouts ice cold, take a moment, listen closely, because behind the sound, there's a story. And if you enjoy discovering the real stories behind the songs you thought you knew, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into music, nostalgia, and the hidden meanings behind legendary tracks. Because sometimes, the songs we love the most are the ones we understand the least.